TikTok. Time is running out, okay, guys? I cannot stress enough, okay? One perspective, one way that Excel has been speculating in particular, okay? Because RLUSD, because you can't name a native stablecoin that was created on any other ecosystem, right? They're all using USDC and USDT. I've been explaining that XRP won't have the volatility that we've seen in previous cycles, guys, okay? The crash and the corrections that we've seen in other tokens or even with XRP in previous cycles, guys, I no longer see that because of the stability that is now offered through RLUSD, okay? But they're going to explain it through this. You got Brad Gullinghouse and then you got the CEO of Kraken, okay, guys, explaining it exactly how they see it. Don't listen to me. Check it out.
Now, could you delve a little bit more into the distribution plan for RLUSD?
So for us, the distribution plan around RLUSD is more focused on the institutional use case, on institutional collateral. You know, we now have an asset in Ripple Prime, a prime brokerage platform, where people can use RLUSD as good regulatory collateral.
Good.
So there's examples where we think it'll drive demand for RLUSD that's differentiated compared to some of the other stablecoins.
Drive demand that's differentiated than other stable coins. Did you hear that? Rewind it back. Listen to what he said, okay, guys? This was the icing on the cake, Phil. Listen up.
Bitcoin volatility has plummeted, and this wasn't hard to predict, right? Because you have a bigger user base, you have a lot of Bitcoin locked up, supporting ETFs and in DATs and things like that. You know, and other assets, I guess, you know, Ether volatility is kind of where Bitcoin volatility might have been 18 months, 2 years ago. You know, in traditional finance, volatility is bad and diversification is good. In crypto, it's sort of the other way around. How do you expect trader behavior or your customer behavior to change if volatility continues to compress?
Well, I think that's inevitably the case. And what we frankly, you know, going back a decade plus ago, what we've hoped for and what we expected to happen.
Be careful
as
what you
said,
hope for, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. What we expected to happen. We expected more volume, more activity, more diversification, institutions to come in, more liquidity, and that's going to bring volatility down over time. Also, just additional use cases for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth. Whether it be payments, other different parts of DeFi smart contracts also are going to bring volatility down. Now, in crypto, of course, we have a long tail of different other names out there.
Something for everyone, right? Yeah.
And there's plenty of tokens without a shortage of volatility, that's for sure. And so that's going to continue. So, but I think it's a beautiful thing that we now have, you know, volatility continually coming down. It's still, frankly, fairly high relative to some, you know, other assets out there, like, for example, you know, large fiat domestic currencies, which tend to be, you know, reasonably more stable. So I think there's still, and which is why we, of course, have stable coins. But I think over time, the trend will continue. You know, over the coming years, it'll just kind of continue to, you know, decline in its level of volatility.
I've got one more for you. Sorry, Jen.
That's okay.
I think part of, you know, I've been in a lot of different countries helping to promote a lot of our products and with our partners, and the stablecoin narrative being top of fold in the news has, I think, generated a lot more comfort for people. Across your user base, your users in their Kraken accounts can keep their money in dollars or presumably in stablecoins. Have you noticed an enhanced comfort level, a shift that people are happier keeping their money, you know, kind of more in a more permanent way in stablecoins?
Well, you know, I think for sure. I mean, when you look at the individuals in the, you know, crypto space, first, I mean, stablecoins are just a far superior payment mechanism than anything that exists in traditional financial services. Far superior. We, of course, back in the day, thought like, hey, well, how are we going to get Bitcoin and or stable coins to be used for payments? You have this huge catch-22 where in order for them to be used by payments, it takes two. It takes a sender and a receiver, and so you need to build a network. And the problem is in order for everyone to kind of like adopt stable coins or Bitcoin all at once to use them as payments, it just isn't going to happen. But what we saw happen is that many people adopted Bitcoin for whatever purposes. A big one, the inflation hedge, the you know, investment on, you know, future gain and adoption of the network, all that type of thing. that put Bitcoin and stablecoins in many people's hands. Stablecoins then kind of arose as this, settlement currency across all of the centralized and decentralized exchanges. Therefore, we have it there. If you look at, Kraken or any other company in the space that's already in crypto, holds stablecoins, holds Bitcoin, we would never think to actually send US dollars using a wire or SWIFT. We just don't. If the individual or the business on the other side has stablecoins, that's what we use. And I think once now we got over that hump, everyone who is already integrated with, crypto or stablecoins, has them on their books, knows how to do the accounting, all those types of things, which is somewhat of a lift, they're going to use stablecoins. And so I think we're getting to that point now.